Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Bars with Barbells, your favorite reaction channel. I got my host here with me, co-host Samantha, the lovely Samantha. Doesn't she look beautiful today?
Thank you, guys.
You have matching gold chains on.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's the going theme of the conversations with
Samantha.
Samantha.
I copy him. I'm like, come on.
Oh, can you see that we're wearing blue today? That's so amazing. We're both wearing blue today.
We're both wearing black tops, too.
Right?
Black headphones.
Yes, I'm well aware. I was waiting to see if you were going to notice that.
Twins.
Anyways, we've got Jason Aldean, Try That in a Small Town today. So some of you may know that we've expressed already on the channel that we're Jason Aldean fans from the country music that we've done. That's what we've talked about in some of those videos, saying that we haven't been exposed to a lot of country artists. But Jason Aldean is one of the few artists that we've been exposed to.
Yes.
So you and I think we've been to 2 Jason Aldean concerts together?
Yes.
Right. And so I think I may have been to like 6 or 7 now Jason Aldean concerts. He's probably like an
you've been more than I have. I think I've been to 4 total.
Yeah. So I think Jason Aldean actually might be the artist that I've seen the most.
That's crazy.
So anyway, so we've heard a lot about this. You know, I heard this track came out a couple of months ago, I think, when it was originally released.
Yeah, I think it's like around May or something.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the video for it, and I think the video must have just came out recently, and that's why there's all this hoopla that's going on about what, you know, apparently they said this is a pro-lynching song and a pro-lynching video. And that it's racially motivated and all this other stuff. So
those are strong accusations. Yeah,
and knowing Jason Aldean, like we're both like, what are you talking about? Because, you know, I mean, whether you agree with Candace Owens' ideas and where she falls on the political spectrum, she's a black woman, right? And they're like best friends with Brittany Aldean and Jason Aldean.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so
they just seem wild to me.
Well, not only that, Jason Aldean, I know because I've gone through his catalog a fair amount. He's got collaborations with Ludacris as well, right? Like down south rapper, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. Anyway, so a little more background, right? If this is your first time on the channel, we've listened to predominantly hip hop, and we've done a reaction channel based on music we haven't heard, which has been like 60s rock and 70s rock and some country and all that stuff, right? So we are accustomed to some aggressive lyrics, we'll say.
Oh, yeah.
There are some songs that...
pop world.
Yeah, I mean, in my workout playlist, honestly, there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, and both male and female perspective, right? Like,
So I'm interested to see, because I haven't really paid attention to the lyrics too much in this. Honestly, it wasn't a song that like I thought blew me away from Jason Aldean at the time.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like my favorite or anything.
I thought it was just another song from him, like Try That in a Small Town. Like he's got other tracks that he talks about a similar concept.
Like country, small town living kind of thing.
Like that's the way we know, right?
Yeah.
The only way we know.
Yeah.
Is
with
Luke Bryan. Yeah. So that's like a similar thing. I felt like when he released this song, right? So it wasn't. Anyways, I'm rambling a lot here. So the point is that we like Jason Aldean, and we haven't seen the video, but there's been a lot of stuff going on here. So we're going to give you our perspective on what we're seeing and whether this is relevant or not. So you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
so I don't know what people have a problem with. That's my personal opinion. I'm just like, I'm kind of blown away that this is even an issue. I'm just like,
that's the response.
Yeah, like,
Well,
literally,
I could be wrong, but like these look like they're all like news clips to me.
Yeah.
From things that like.
Yeah, well, it said state of emergency declared in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
That's where he's from,
Yeah.
Georgia, right? So clearly he's highlighting that, like, I'm assuming. So first of all, like I said, I don't understand what is like the big ordeal here. What the hell is going on? That's the first, especially with the lyrics. Now that I'm paying attention to it, I'm like. We just talked about in hip hop, like the stuff that we've heard. I'm like, this is not even comparable.
WAPs and
yeah, like it's crazy. You have like Drake and Future and these other rappers talking about popping Molly and Xanax and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and
then you have all these other super violent songs.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was gonna say. Anyways.
Yeah.
There's
be here all day.
Yeah, and that's fine. We've listened to that. We're okay with that. If there's a time and a place for it. I'm not saying that it needs to be removed. It's a form of expression, same as this, right? But this to me is like, what is the problem? I'm like blown away.
The only vibe I get from this, like when I'm listening to this, is basically like stand up for your community and like we have each other's backs. Like,
yes.
It's a small town, right?
Which
like,
is
basically like don't come here and expect to like screw with us and not have repercussions.
Yeah, which is like, why wouldn't you want that? Like, why wouldn't you want your community to have your back? Like, it's crazy. Anyways, I think the whole issue with this, because I don't want people to think this is going over my head, but this is Black Lives Matters videos. I think that they're showing, and these, like you said, the news clippings, right? Yeah. And so that's where I feel like people are saying this is racially motivated because they're seeing some of these clippings here
from those specific protests.
But to me, it's like, how can you? Even if you agree with that there was some reason to protest or whatever, you shouldn't, in my opinion, think that there's anything right about going in and robbing people in a store,
breaking glass, vandalizing,
and going in and
robbing people,
robbing an old lady.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
spitting in people's faces.
You could totally want to, go.
Regardless of the cause, you shouldn't be behaving that way.
Yeah, there's a way to go about making these things well known, right, and discussing these issues.
Yeah, of course.
So like even from that standpoint, if you have a problem with that, it's like it's not like he's saying anything to number one. He doesn't say anything so far, anyways, about the Black Lives Matters protests.
Yeah,
he doesn't say anything about race in this at all.
No.
And so you're having to draw conclusions already. That's what it's about. But he's highlighting and saying, in my community, this is the way we approach things.
We don't stand up for each other.
Yeah, we have each other's back. You don't I think the idea of the small community, right? Like, if you have a mom and pop shop, like that's a member of the community, right? So you don't go into that person's store and do something because they're like a family member or a friend to you. In that community, you protect that person, and that's not what we do in a small town. Yeah. Maybe in a big city, that's what you do, but not in our small town. So
don't come in here and think you run the show and doing whatever you want.
So don't bring these things to these small towns because they don't want it. They don't want anything to do with it, right? So I don't think to me it's got anything to do with race at all.
Well, like you said, he hasn't mentioned anything to do with that. Like you would have to make the assumption just based off of the visuals that he's referring to anybody with that cause that he doesn't want around. But again, that's your assumption.
And then the other thing that I would say is ridiculous is that for you to think that this is racially motivated, you would probably have to assume that the crimes that are being talked about in this video, the visuals or whatever, are crimes that only black people commit.
Yeah.
Right? Which is ridiculous because you saw in the video.
Racist, then.
Yeah, exactly.
The person who's thinking about it
because you're assuming the stereotype is true.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous because again, in the video, you see a bunch of white people. I've only seen white people. I mean, maybe there has been black people in there, but I just didn't notice that. Right? Yeah. Like I've seen basically everybody. It's just not one group.
To me, what I've noticed is that it's just a mix of literally everybody.
Yeah, I'm just I'm blown away with it. I'm like, what are people going on
about? People
are
reaching for that
one.
Very far reaching.
The other thing that I did remember that somebody said, I saw it on Twitter or whatever, was that courthouse that they showed. It's a courthouse in Tennessee,
The one that there's like where they have the guitars
that,
in front of?
Yeah, the white.
Okay, yes.
To me, it looks like the White House.
Yeah.
So I think the visual, they probably picked that location because it looks like the White House with an American flag draped on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's supposed to be a patriotic song. He's talking about don't burn the flag. So it's like saying don't do that.
Yeah,
no, I'm a
stop
patriot.
it.
I care about my country. Don't do all this stuff ruining our society, ruining our communities. Don't do these things. That's not what America represents. So that's why they have this, visual of what looks like a White House, because they can't go to the White House and shoot.
Yeah.
So it's a courthouse in Tennessee, right? Apparently, they said that there was a lynching in like 1920 that took place at that location in 1920. So people are then trying to coordinate the visuals with that being racially motivated as well. And it's like, number one, we're talking about 100 years ago. Like what? Like you can bring up a location probably for every location on the planet. Some bad thing has happened over that time period.
Yeah.
But beyond that, he lives in Nashville. Right, so I'm assuming they just picked that location for the creative artist process that they were trying to highlight about the country as a whole, and they did it in Tennessee where he lives.
Yeah.
But people have been like, he selected that location because he was trying to make a point about race derived ideas.
But again, right, like one, reaching, and second, like assumptions, like. Everything that people are saying about this is just based off of their own assumptions. Nothing that's actually being said or like has been factually confirmed about the video itself, right? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's assumptions that are drawn incorrectly, which are just going to cause more division, more issues in society that we don't need right now, which are so ridiculous. And like, I think for me, I feel like I have a pretty good perspective into this window, given that like I said, we've listened to a lot of hip hop, we've grown up on that. We've, listened to a lot of Jason Aldean, know kind of his backstory, his career, and then where we are today in society and what the ideas that they're trying to push out there to push us from each other.
Fuel for civil tension.
Yeah, it's literally, to me, it's just mind-blowing that we're even having this discussion. But I'm, you know what, that said, I'm glad we're revisiting the song because I didn't pay attention to it much. But now I feel like it's actually a great song.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like the first time I heard it, I kind of thought it just sounded very similar, like the melody and stuff of it, very similar to his other stuff. So I was just kind of like, you just vibe to it and whatever, but you don't actually like really take it in.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I ever even realized he was talking about all those crimes in it.
Anyways, we've been rambling for a while. Let's finish the song to make sure we're not jumping to any conclusions and there's nothing else that we missed. I'm going to assume and take a pretty strong opinion and stance that there's nothing else in this thing that's going to be bad and that this is totally blown into proportion. So let's see if that holds true.
Take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need, and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Try that in a small town.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
like I said,
Like that looks like the White House to me. That's what a smaller version of the White House, basically.
Yeah. Like I think that's what it's meant to represent.
Yeah.
But like I said, the first time we stopped it, the only vibe I get from that is like standing strong as a community.
Yeah,
it's
and
literally the only vibe.
And
that I
like
get.
the flag, and like I said, and like them
patriotism.
raising the flag, and the military service members, and it's just supposed to be like a patriotic song.
Yes.
That's it.
Like true, strong Americans coming together.
Treat your country well. That's what
Yeah.
it's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And to me, it's mind-blowing that anybody could perceive this as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you warp things so much to make this into Jason Aldean is a racist? Like, it's ridiculous.
I agree, and people are always going to try to look for confirmation bias, right? And
Yes.
grasp that in any way possible, so.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our ramblings for the day. I hope you enjoyed our reaction to Jason Aldean. Try that in a small town. And we haven't seen Jason in a while in concert. I know he's on tour right now, so
It's been a while.
we are not in a location currently that we could go see it, but maybe we'll do that. And if we do that, maybe we should do some kind of behind the scenes reaction video for that.
Live reaction in
Yeah,
concert.
something like that. Anyways, that's it from us. We'll be back soon. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.